from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 18, text number 3. The residents of Jambudvip offer prayers. Aha vichitram bhagavad vichestitam. Aha vichitram bhagavad vichestitam. Grantam janoyam hi mishan napashyati. Grantam janoyam hi mishan napashyati. Dayan asadyarhi vikarma sevitum. Niritya putram hitaram jijivishati. Hitaram jijivishati. Chant.
Aho vichitram bhagavad vichestitam.
Aho vichitram bhagavad vichestitam.
Antam janoyam himisham napashyati. Dayana sadyari vikarma sevitum. Nritya putram hitaram jijivishati.
Aho vichitram bhagavad vichestitam.
Aho vichitram bhagavad vichestitam.
Antam janoyam himisham napashyati.
Antam janoyam himisham napashyati.
Ayam sadyahi vikarma sevitum.
Ayana sadyahi vikarma sevitum.
Nritya putram hitaram jijivishati.
Nritya putram hitaram jijivishati. Ladies. Aho vichitram bhagavad vichestitam. Antam janoyam hi mishan napashyati. Dayana sadyahi vikarma sevitum. Nritya putram hitaram jijivishati. Aho vichitram bhagavad vichestitam. Antam janoyam hi mishan napashyati. Dayana sadyahi vikarma sevitum. Nritya putram hitaram jijivishati. Aho, alas, vichitram, wonderful, bhagavad vichestitam, the pastimes of the Lord, kanatam, death, janha, a person, ayam, this, he, certainly, mishan, although seeing, napashyati, does not see, dhyayan, thinking about, asat, material happiness, yadhi, because, vikarma, forbidden activities, sevitum, to enjoy, nihritya, burning, putram, sons, pitaram, the father, jijivishati, desires a long life. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Alas, how wonderful it is that the foolish materialist does not heed the great danger of impending death. He knows that death will surely come, yet he is nevertheless callous and neglectful. If his father dies, he wants to enjoy his father's property, and if his son dies, he wants to enjoy his son's possessions as well. In either case, he heedlessly tries to enjoy material happiness with the acquired money. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Material happiness means to have good facilities for eating, sleeping, sexual intercourse, and defense. Within this world, a materialistic person lives only for these 4 principles of sense gratification, not caring for the impending danger of death. After his father's death, the son tries to inherit his money and use it for sense gratification. Similarly, one whose son dies tries to enjoy the possessions of his son. Sometimes the father of a dead son even enjoys his son's widow. Materialistic persons behave in this way. Thus, Shukadeva Goswami says, "How wonderful are these pastimes of material happiness transacted by the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead." In other words, materialistic persons want to commit all kinds of sinful activities, but without the sanction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, no one can do anything. Why does the Supreme Personality of Godhead permit sinful activities? Supreme Lord does not want any living entity to act sinfully, and he begs him through his good conscience to refrain from sin. But when someone insists upon acting sinfully, the Supreme Lord gives him the sanction to act at his own risk. Mata smitiganam apohanam cha. No one can do anything without the sanction of the Lord, but he is so kind that when the condition so persists in doing something, the Lord permits the individual soul to act at his own risk. According to Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, sons always outlive their fathers in other planetary systems and other lands in this universe, especially on Svargaloka. However, on this planet Earth, a son often dies before his father, and the materialistic father is pleased to enjoy the possessions of his son. Neither the father nor the son can see the reality that both of them are awaiting death. When death comes, however, all their plans for material enjoyment are finished. Mukam karati vachalam Pangam lankayate kirim yakipam tamam bande Sri Guru Tinatavinam Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananchara Sharakaya Chakshurmanitam Yena Tasamai Shri Gurave Namaha. So death is all around us. And the devotees are aware, very aware. We see people coming here to Vrindavan to die, so we see death. I was told that in Delhi, I'm going to Delhi tomorrow, and I was told I should wear a mask when I go because in the wintertime many people died on the streets and they didn't take them away. So there's a lot of disease going around because of that. So in India, it's not hidden. In the West, you don't see this. In India, it's all reality is there. We see one time Prabhupada was walking in a morning walk in India, and there was one man lying on the ground, and Prabhupada said, "You see, he's dead, actually. He's not sleeping." So here we see the reality, but in the West, it's very nicely covered. You don't see the reality of death, and people don't like to think about it. One devotee told me he told his father, "You know, death is coming very soon. You're old now. You know, what are you going to do?" And the father just put his head down and just kind of couldn't say anything. He was just frozen because they never think about it, actually. So Yudhishthira said in Mahabharata, it's the most wonderful thing all around us. People are dying, but we think we will live forever. Do we ever think what it would be like to be dying, or to have already left our body? We see so many devotees leaving their bodies here, but do we think one day it will be us? It will be the last cremation we'll have to attend, and we won't need to worry about how to get back to the temple. If it's far away, nature will already have arranged our ride home. So yes, one day it will be us there on the fire. But materialistic people, they don't think like that. Devotees, we have some consciousness. And so therefore, because they think, you know, just eat, drink, be merry, and enjoy, because after death there's nothing. You know, just be here now, so therefore they act sinfully. So why do they act sinfully? They have polluted intelligence. The senses control the mind. The eye sees something they like, and the mind says, yes, I accept. The intelligence starts to make plans how to get it. So here the Prabhupada says, why does the Supreme Personality of Godhead permit sinful activities? He doesn't want anyone to act sinfully, and he begs through his good conscience to refrain from sin. So conscience is there in everyone's heart. What is this conscience? Where is it coming from? It is the Super Soul. It is the Lord himself. He's telling you. Just like your tongue wants to smoke a cigarette, the mind says yes, the conscience says no. It's not good for you. Don't smoke. But the polluted intelligence says, anyway, I've been smoking my whole life, it's all right, let's keep, how can I stop now? So we have the polluted intelligence and we have the conscience, this Super Soul. And the polluted one says, anyway, after death, there's nothing, nobody is watching you, it doesn't matter. So you can do it. Prahlad Maharaj, when he was preaching to his school friends, he explained in the 7th canto, 7th chapter, verse 27, through polluted intelligence, one is subjected to the modes of nature, and you become conditioned, just like a dreaming state, in which one falsely suffers. Material existence must be considered unwanted and temporary. So we all have a choice, especially devotees have a choice between polluted intelligence and pure intelligence. We can listen to our Super Soul, or we can listen to Maya. And the Super Soul will help us either way. As pure soul, we have our pure intelligence, but when we contact material nature, our intelligence becomes polluted. So again, in Mahabharata, Yudhishthira Maharaj was asked, who is our best friend? And Yudhishthira answered, intelligence. Intelligence is our best friend. Intelligence can help us. And we have 3 divisions of intelligence. That's waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. And we are conditioned by this. The soul goes through these, but the Super Soul just watches. He's watching us and waiting. And where did this intelligence, this polluted intelligence come from? Beginning of the creation, Kapiladev says that by transformation of false ego and passion, then intelligence is born. And intelligence is useful. It helps us to understand what things are. We can understand an object, and it helps the senses to make choices. So intelligence is supposed to be master of the senses. But unfortunately, if you have polluted intelligence, then the senses are the master of the mind, and mind is master of the intelligence, and so you fall down. But actually, intelligence is coming from Super Soul. And here in the Purport, Prabhupada says the Super Soul, the Lord doesn't want us to act sinfully. And he tries to tell us, he tries to say, don't do that. But when we insist, he gives sanction. Okay, at your own risk, you can act like that. So Prabhupada gave a very beautiful analogy about the Super Soul and us. And the analogy was of a man taking a dog for a walk. In the West, I just came from Australia. You go on the beach, you see lots of them, or in the parks, especially in the parks, a lot of people taking their dog for the walk. And so the dog can do whatever he likes, the master's waiting. The dog can pass urine, he can pass stool, he can run this way, that way. Of course, he's got the leash, he is a little bit controlled there. But the master wants him to obey him. And he's waiting for the dog to listen to him. So Super Soul is like the master, and we're like the dog. And Super Soul is giving us facility. Okay, you pass urine, you pass stool, do what you want, run this way, run that way, but you should obey me. That's what I want. And he's just waiting. He's holding the leash, and he's waiting for us to, allow him to control us, and the master will take the dog back home. So Krishna is just waiting for us to turn to him, and then he'll take us back home, back to Godhead. So this is the analogy that Srila Prabhupada gave. He's so kind. He comes, and in Bhagavad Gita, he comes as himself, and he says, why are you wasting your time in this world? Just surrender to me. And how do you surrender? I just need a little flower, leaf, fruit, water, that's all. Very simple. Even if you're poor, you can do it. And he's just trying to turn our face towards him. So he's always with us. He's amazing. We've been through 8,400,000 species of life, and the Lord is sitting waiting for us to finish our nonsense. But now we have a really good chance. We have this human form of life. We got the opportunity to actually hear Krishna. The dogs, they can't hear. The cats, the animals, they don't understand why they're suffering. They don't even ask the question. And people who are in this human form of life, who are materialistic, following their polluted intelligence, they don't ask the question. But actually, Vedanta Sutta says, Atato Brahma Jigyasa, now is the time. You should ask this question. Who am I? What is Brahman? What is the truth? What is reality? Bhagavatam is distinguishing reality from illusion. So here we're getting the reality check of materialistic intelligence, materialistic people, how they act. So Krishna, he wants us to go back to Godhead even more than we can desire ourselves. So Prabhupada says in one purport, very few people want to go back to Godhead, actually. But if you do, he's going to help you. So I'd just like to ask you all a question. How many of you want to go back to Godhead? Yeah, we have, well, this is pretty good. And if I asked the question in Sweden, and not very many people wanted to go back to Godhead. It's a different level of enjoyment there. I guess in Vrindavan it's easier. Pretty extreme climate here. So yeah, you don't have much choice. It's good to die. Actually, I was in Govardhan. We were having our Govardhan retreat, and there was one brahmachari. He was pujari, and I was like the head pujari over there. And so he called in sick one day. I got pain in my stomach. I think I'm going to leave my body. So then we sent Adipurush over to check him out. Adipurush said, no, you just have gas. You're not going to leave. And the brahmachari was giving away all his possessions, whatever he had. And he said, no, Prabhu, you just have gas. You know, it's nothing serious. So, but he was ready, that's good. He was ready to die in Govardhan, go back to Godhead. So a lot of us, we have a lot of near-death experiences here if you eat the wrong thing. And we're ready. We're ready to go back to Godhead here in Vrindavan. But Krishna, so he's calling us in Bhagavad Gita. He says, you surrender to me, please. Please surrender to me, and I'll take care of you. He's coming as Lord Chaitanya. He's saying, just take Krishna Prema and be happy. Forget all these miseries of this material world. And but unfortunately, people in this world, they're bewitched. There's two witches, according to Nectar of Devotion. One witch is the witch of material attachment, you want to enjoy, and the other witch is renunciation. You want to renounce, or you want to merge into the Brahman. So Prabhupada said that these people who come to this world, everyone is mad. Everyone is mad. We all have a case of mistaken identity here. We think we're the body. So that means we're mad, actually. And Prabhupada said not only Shastra says, even medical science. And he gave one example. And there was one court case, and one murderer, he murdered someone, and he claimed, no, I'm crazy. That's why I did it. So they called in the psychologist. And the psychologist said, well, the judge was asking, well, who's crazy? He said, in my opinion, everyone is crazy in this world. So there you go. So you can decide whether or not he should be tried. So this is the thing, that we're all crazy, and we're forgetting who we are, and Super Soul is actually helping us forget. How does he do that? Why? Because Prabhupada again gives a beautiful analogy, that the Super Soul is like an expert director of a play. An expert director makes the actor forget his real identity, so he can play his part very nicely. And the more he forgets, the more he plays very nicely. So, Super Soul makes us forget our real identity, that we're a coward boy or a gopi or whatever. He makes us forget so we can play our part here very nicely as Indian American or woman, man, all these different parts in the material world we have to play. So we've forgotten our relationship with Krishna, We want to enjoy here. Unless we forget completely, I'm spirit, soul, I'm not this body, I can't enjoy, then we can't really play our part and enjoy this material world. And many devotees, they have that experience. Jai Gonitai, Jai Krishna Balaram, and Jai Radha Shamsundar. Yeah, devotees have that experience that once they've gotten the taste of Krishna consciousness, they go away and they can't enjoy. They try really hard. They try hard to enjoy. They try hard to forget Krishna, but they can't. Can't enjoy. Can't enjoy. And Krishna doesn't allow them also. Krishna does not allow them to forget. Once you have come to Krishna consciousness, you cannot forget. Just like one devotee, I don't know if I told this, but he left Krishna consciousness and he was a brahmachari. He said, okay, I'm going to get a girlfriend. I will forget Krishna nicely. And so his girlfriend called him to her apartment. He opened the door and there was a huge picture of Krishna in her apartment. She's, oh, God. What can you do, you know? Krishna doesn't let you go once you've come here. So this is, yes, if you have sincerely chanted the holy name at least once, and Krishna will not forget your service. Even you try to get away, you won't make it. So in Bhagavatam, 4th canto, it says that the Lord, he makes the demons forget, and he makes the devotees remember him. And if you want to forget, he'll help you birth after birth. But if you want to remember, he'll take you back very quickly. He'll help you go back very quickly. And the super soul also, whatever anyone desires, it's noted down by super soul. And he gives you a chance to fulfill your desire. So if desires of the non-devotees are fulfilled so easily, what to speak of devotees? Of course, super soul is noting your desires, and also Yamaraj is noting what you do, or Chittagupta, his scribe. And Krishna is noting what the devotees are doing. He's noting everything that we do, every obeisance, every mantra we chant. It's being noted down by Krishna. And it's being put into our spiritual bank account. Did you know you have a spiritual bank account? And of course you probably don't know how full it is, but once it gets really full, Prabhupada said you can purchase Krishna. So isn't that nice? That's the best thing to purchase. We should purchase Krishna. So there are people, mental speculators, Prabhupada calls them mental speculators, and even there is a mental speculator exchange, just like there is a stock exchange. But Prabhupada says in one purport, Krishna is not a shopkeeper in the mental speculator exchange. So they will not make it back to Godhead. They don't have a chance unless, after many, many births, they surrender to Krishna. As Bhagavad Gita says, Bahunam jamanam ante gyanavan mam prapadyate. After so many births of thinking, speculating, finally they come to the reality, Vasudeva Saramiti, I should surrender to Krishna. Many, many lifetimes. But an intelligent person will do it right now. So this is called Buddhi Yoga. Bhagavad Gita says Buddhi Yoga is Bhakti Yoga. This is the guaranteed path to self-realization. And this is explained in the 10th chapter, 10th verse, Tesham satata yuktanam pachitam priti purvakam. What is Buddhi? Dadami Buddhi Yogam tam. I give Buddhi Yoga to those who are worshipping me with priti, with faith. And this is direct communion with the Lord. Another meaning of Buddhi Yoga is if somebody has some buddhi, intelligence, then he'll think, well, you know, if it's taking them so many births, why don't I just surrender now and make a quick shortcut? That's buddhi. That's intelligence. Don't wait for many births. Don't think, okay, next birth, a few more births, you know, I enjoy a little bit and then go back. No. You may forget. Next life, who knows what will happen. You may be born in a devotee family and then completely go off and forget. We have examples. So therefore, we should do it in this life. Prabhupada many, many times said, go back to Godhead in this life. Don't take another birth. So the Super Soul will talk with you, actually, Prabhupada says, if you have this priti, if you have devotional service. One time, one devotee said to Prabhupada, you know, there's a common philosophy held by a lot of religious groups that you can understand God directly. You don't need a guru. You can just talk to God. So Prabhupada chastised the devotee. He said, he's a rascal, and whoever accepts him is a rascal. He said, why do you think like that? And he chastised devotee, because devotee was thinking, this was a valid argument. He asked Prabhupada, so Prabhupada smashed him. He said, who does God talk with? And he quoted again, Teisham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. One who has priti, who has love, devotion, who is doing devotional service. So for him, the super soul is ever fresh. Just like Anandam Buddhivardhanam, Patipadam Purnamritasvaranam. At every step, you're happy because you see Krishna everywhere. This is the vision of the devotee. Devotee sees the super soul inside and outside. Also, did you know super soul is outside also? He's not just in your heart, he's in everyone's heart. And in Krishna book, Prabhupada says that if we can simply think Krishna as super soul is everywhere, even in the atom, then we can perfect our thinking, feeling, and willing. Isn't that a wonderful statement by Prabhupada in Krishna book? So one time, one of my godbrothers, Achyutananda, asked Prabhupada the question, which is more important, to go back to Godhead, or should we just stay here birth after birth and spread Krishna consciousness? Now, Prabhupada was asked this question many times, and he would give many different answers. To Burijan, he said, why do you want to make me come back birth after birth for you? But for Achyutananda, he had a completely different answer. He said, well, one who is preaching Krishna consciousness is already back to Godhead. Iha yasahare dasye. Preacher means he's engaged his body, mind, and words just to glorify Krishna. So he's Jivan Mukta. He's liberated in this life. He's with Krishna. Krishna's talking with him. And many book distributors, they have that experience that sometimes they don't know what to say, and then they pray, and then Super Soul gives them the words they never thought of to say to different people to distribute the book. So this is very interesting. We can be back to Godhead even before we die. Did you know that? You can be back to Godhead before you die. This can happen. I mean, of course, it may take a while, but to keep it all the time back to Godhead. It may come and go. You may have glimpses. Like if you're in a wonderful kirtan, you may forget everything. Or if you're worshiping, doing deity worship, you may forget everything and just be with Krishna. So these experiences may be there, but one who is actually doing pure devotional service, or at least trying to do pure devotional service, he's already feeling that he's back to Godhead. If we just follow the instructions of the spiritual master, then Krishna will give us intelligence. In one purport, in the third canto, Prabhupada says, if you follow the Guru's instructions, immediately you associate with Krishna, by Vani or Vaku. This is the secret of success in seeing the Lord. Instead of being eager to see the Lord in some bush of Vrindavan, which I think a lot of people here are, eager to see Krishna in some bush of Vrindavan, while at the same time engaging in sense gratification, if one instead sticks to the principle, following the words of the spiritual master, you'll see Krishna without difficulty. So that's how you're going to see Krishna, by following the Guru's instructions. And that's how you're going to associate with Krishna. Buddhi Yoga, linking with Krishna. Yoga means to link your intelligence with Krishna. And the symptom that you have this, that you're experiencing this, is that you like to talk about Krishna with other devotees. It's enlivening. It's enlivening for you. You relish. Just like Prabhupada says, scientists exchange their views. So you like to exchange your views with other devotees. And I don't mean arguing on issues. That is not happiness. That is like the mental speculators in the mental speculator exchange. But to glorify Krishna, to help other devotees advance in Krishna consciousness. This is what Prabhupada means. So eagerness is a qualification, but eagerness should be put in the right place, that we should have eagerness to follow our Guru's instructions. And this is the price, and you can go back to God in this life. So there is example, Prabhupada gives an example of a thief who came, he heard about Krishna in some Bhagavad Sapta, and he heard that Krishna has lots of jewels. So he thought, oh, I have to see Krishna. And he went to Vrindavan, he came to Vrindavan, and he was searching, so eager. Krishna showed himself, and he saw the jewels. He said, yes. But then once he saw Krishna, he got bewildered, and he forgot about the jewels, and he just wanted Krishna. So we have that experience in our Krishna conscious movement. One of my godbrothers, he saw a picture of Prabhupada with a very expensive watch, and he said, I want that watch. And so he was so eager to see Srila Prabhupada. Very eager. He joined. He became a brahmachari. He said, I need to see Prabhupada. So he wasn't in that place, so he went down to South India. He found Prabhupada. Prabhupada showed him the watch. Oh, you want the watch? And then, but he fell so much in love with Prabhupada, he didn't care about the watch anymore, like Dhruva Maharaj. And then this person became a devotee, my godbrother, and after that, he got so much opulence. Prabhupada gave him so much opulence. Even he was going to the West, but he couldn't go to the West because he didn't know who his father was. So he couldn't do his passport. So so Prabhupada said, well, why aren't you going? I want you to go to the West. And he said, I don't know who's my father. So Prabhupada said, give me your passport. Let me see that. And Prabhupada signed A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, your father. So this is Krishna, this is Prabhupada, this is the mercy. If we're eager, if we have enough eagerness to do service, even there's some little desire, they won't see the desire, they'll just see the eagerness, and they will take away the material desire. So the child in the womb is praying, actually, this is also in 3rd canto, my Lord, by your causeless mercy I've become conscious, and there is no way to express my gratitude but to pray with folded hands. So this gratefulness is very, very important. We should always be grateful to Krishna. Thank you for bringing me to Vrindavan, for giving me this opportunity to chant Hare Krishna, to serve the devotees. And Prabhupada also gave us a very nice prayer that we can pray to Super Soul. Did any of you ever pray to Super Soul? I know we pray here to Gaurnitai and Krishna Balaram, but here's a prayer to Super Soul. And Prabhupada says this. He wrote a letter in 1968, how to pray to Super Soul. Simply, our prayer should be, my dear Krishna, please remind me to always chant your holy name. Please do not put me into forgetfulness. You're sitting inside within me as Super Soul. You can make me forget, or you can make me remember you. So please don't make me forget. Please always remind me to chant Hare Krishna, even if you send me to hell. It doesn't matter, as long as I can always chant Hare Krishna. And so then he quoted, he said, Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda are singing one very nice song, and they're requesting everyone, please chant Hare Krishna and come along with us. So that is our request to everyone. Now, I would just like to end with one interesting item about Super Soul. This was from one of my godbrothers again. And Prabhupada, oftentimes, if we would ask him questions, how to do something, he would say, okay, just chant Hare Krishna. And sometimes he would say, okay, Super Soul will help you. You just try. So here's one time, Prabhupada wrote a letter to one devotee, one of the first devotees in Germany. Why are my books not being printed in German? And the devotee said, you know, I can't speak German. Because everybody went from America all over the world, you know, we didn't know the languages. He said, how can I translate them? But then he said, I understood, oh, Prabhupada wants his books translated into German, and I have to figure out how to do it. He said, I wrote him, what do I do? And Prabhupada said, chant Hare Krishna, and Krishna will give you intelligence. So that was almost always the answer we got when we would ask Prabhupada. Prabhupada wasn't the type of manager or leader who would give details. He inspired you to use your creative intelligence. In fact, Prabhupada said there's a kind of individual genius in every living entity. We all have a genius in our heart. So this devotee, he looked up the definition for genius, and it's a very amazing definition. What is genius? What is the definition? In the dictionary, definition was indwelling deity. Isn't that amazing? Genius. So who's that? That's Krishna. That's where we get our genius from, and even the dictionary accepts that. The indwelling deity. I mean, who's a deity? It has to be Krishna. So genius is not something you have or I have or anyone possesses. It means Krishna in our heart. So if by inspiration of the spiritual master we make ourselves open to the inflow of Krishna, then we will understand how to do things. And this devotee was a high school dropout. He never finished high school. But then, later on, he lectured to the faculty at Harvard University on Krishna consciousness. So imagine that. Why would they listen to a high school dropout? The faculty of Harvard University, one of the biggest universities in America. Because he had this genius of Krishna in his heart. So we all have this genius, and by chanting Hare Krishna, we can contact this reservoir of intelligence in our heart. One time my son Govinda, he said to me, Mom, he was about 14, 15 years old, you know, if I could just contact Super Soul, I would never be bored again. So for teenagers, boredom is a huge problem. They don't know what to do themselves, they're bored. And I said, yes, you can talk to Super Soul, you chant Hare Krishna, and he'll talk to you. So this will happen. You can expand your intelligence by chanting Hare Krishna, by contacting the Super Soul in the heart. He'll give you unlimited intelligence, whatever you need. So let's expand our intelligence by chanting Hare Krishna and listen to our spiritual intelligence coming from Super Soul. Okay, we'll stop here. If you have any questions, comments, you can ask now. Yes. You have a microphone.
We commit to the Super Soul.
Yeah.
We worship Krishna directly.
Say again.
When we chant Hare Krishna and pray to the Super Soul, we're approaching Krishna directly. So how do we relate that to that we have to go through Krishna's devotees?
Okay, when we chant Hare Krishna, we approach Krishna directly. So how do we relate that to going through Krishna's devotees? The Hare Krishna mantra, when we chant Hare Krishna, we have the energy of the Lord Radharani, we have Krishna, and we have Rama. So Prabhupada explained that, of course, Hare is the devotee also, I mean, devotee of Krishna, the highest devotee, Hare Radharani. So at one of his first lecture, I believe, was on the chanting Hare Krishna. And he said, so the word Hare, Rama, and Krishna, they are seeds of the chanting. And when you chant, when you call Hare, Mother Hara listens, and she helps you reach the Father, Krishna. And how I see it is when you chant Hare Krishna, Radharani picks you up and gives you to Krishna. I mean, that's my vision. And then, Prabhupada says, and then Krishna will reveal himself to you in that way. So when we chant Hare Krishna, it's including the devotee also. But also that's one way of looking at it. That's what Prabhupada said. Another way of looking at it is that when we chant Prabhupada, it was the instruction of the devotee too, to chant Hare Krishna. And our Guru is telling us, chant Hare Krishna, so we're following his instructions. In that way also, we're doing the right thing. And another way to look at it is when we chant Hare Krishna, we're associating with Krishna and the whole spiritual world, and our Guru is there too. When we chant Hare Krishna, he's there also when we chant. He's there when we're chanting Hare Krishna. He said, when you chant and I chant, then we're together. He may be in another part of the world and I'm here. But when we chant, then we're packed up together, Prabhupada said. And so there's many ways to see how actually, and in the Shikshastika, Prabhupada said, Chanadapi Shanichina, it means this is where Guru comes in also. Because in order to chant Kirtanaya Sadahari, in order to chant constantly, you have to be humble. And Prabhupada explained, what is this humility? Is to accept a Guru. And also that's three ways. Now, fourth way is that you need to receive the mantra in parampara. So many people are chanting, Mayavadis are chanting, but it will not have the effect on you. So if you receive the initiation from the proper spiritual master in parampara, then it will have the effect. So that's 4 ways. Any other? Yes?
When we need a guidance from our super soul, we just chant and sometimes we ask ourselves, but there are different kind of voices.
Yeah, right, different. Okay.
So how can, which is the voice? Ours.
Okay, how do you distinguish? There's lots of voices in there. So that's why we have our checks and balances, Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So like a lot of crazy people say God's talking to me and they go kill someone. In fact, anyway, I won't mention it anyway, but there have been crazy people who have done, even in our movement, who have done crazy things. They said God's telling me to do it. And so therefore, if you're in doubt, even if you're not in doubt, you ask your Guru first before you do anything. You ask the devotees, the sadhus, and you look in the Shastra if this is the proper way you should behave before you make a decision. So Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Yes?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Every day we meet many gurus.
Many gurus.
Is there any way to find out who is the right guru for us? Because we listen to so many gurus in so many places who are giving spiritual talks. After listening to you, I feel you are my guru. After listening to another person, I feel he is my guru. Every day we meet different gurus. But in this chaos, it's difficult for me to identify who is the right guru. Could you guide me on this, please?
Yes. So there's 2 kinds of gurus. There's the Diksha Guru and there's the Shiksha Guru. Shiksha Gurus are many. You can have many Shiksha Gurus. They can teach you, they help you to advance in spiritual life. One Diksha Guru. So the Diksha Guru is the one who you make a contract, a commitment with, that you will chant 16 rounds, follow the 4 regulative principles. So to make this commitment, then you need to have faith that this person can guide me the rest of my life and take me back to Godhead. And that is what the Guru is supposed to do, take you back to Godhead. So you must have faith, that's one thing. And you also can test, Prabhupada says you should test the Guru for 1 year, and he should test you for 1 year, at least. Of course, now it's going on for 10 years, 8 years, the Gurus are testing. But some are only 1 year. So first thing is you must have this faith. And then you must see by practical experience that this Guru is able to uplift you and elevate you and give you good guidance in your spiritual life. And also it's good to identify yourself with the service which the Guru has for Srila Prabhupada. I'm assuming that you're talking about Gurus in ISKCON, or you're talking about outside and inside? Both. Well, of course, why to be inside ISKCON is the parampara is important. Unless you have connection with the proper disciplic succession, then the result will not come. So that's the reason. And so our parampara is from Krishna himself. If you want to go to Krishna, then come to this parampara, and then Brahma, Narada, Vyasadeva, and on. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There are other Vaishnava paramparas, but in this one, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. And he has brought all the 4 paramparas together, the 4 Vaishnava paramparas. So I assume you want Vaishnava, yes? Good, that's good. So we don't have to talk about the Mayavadis. But in ISKCON, yes, yeah, you have to have faith, and it's good to identify with the service that the particular Guru is doing, because you're going to make a commitment. If you make a commitment, you're going to probably have to help him in that service. There's one Guru who does book distribution, one's into Varnashram, one's into drama. You might have to act in a drama if you join, if you follow him. Some are into writing books, some are into traveling and preaching. So you have to, it's good to identify with what the Guru's service to Srila Prabhupada is, and that will help you. That will be easier, make it easier for you to serve the Guru. If it's something completely different from then it might be difficult for you. So these are a few things few ideas I've given you that you can use for. And it's good to take the Guru Disciple course, and they will give you a lot more ideas what to look for. It's not like, I'll tell you what not to look for. One time we did a drama 15 years ago, and there was a lot of devotees, and they had these experience, and they were saying in the drama, oh, I know how to find a Guru, it's the voice. His voice is very sweet, he must be my Guru. No, he looked at me, it's the eyes. No, it's the eyes. No, he's Indian. He won't fall. I'll take an Indian Guru. No, so these are different ideas, but it's not based on the body. It's much deeper than that. So don't think like that. Or that he gave me a garland, he must be my Guru. No, it's not so simple. Not so simple. Or a flower fell down from the deities, oh, he must be my Guru. It's a lot deeper than that. So you have to do your research. Anybody else? Yes.
Hare Krishna. So at one point you said that once you remember Krishna, once you come to Krishna, he never lets you forget.
Yes.
And then later you said, finish Krishna consciousness in this lifetime. Don't think, well, I'll go enjoy a little bit and then I'll come back in a couple of lifetimes. So there must be some balance in between confidence that Krishna will continue to cause you to remember and fear that, oh, I better get this done now.
Yeah, we should always have that fear.
So what's the right balance between that confidence and fear?
Well, you should have confidence that if I surrender to Krishna, then I can go back to Godhead in this life. So it's better to concentrate, be focused in this life. Don't worry about other lives, but be very focused in this life. Just accept. Nishta. Nishta means I give this life to Krishna. It's very simple. We have these different levels and Prabhupada explained one definition of nishta, or firm faith above all the struggle. Okay, this life for Krishna. Then no more problems. Okay, it's this life, so whatever questions you have, you just keep remembering this life for Krishna. When you have choices to make. Then remember, okay, I'm deciding, I choose to give this life to Krishna. One time His Holiness Bhakti Chaudhary Maharaj was speaking with Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said, you just give this one life to Krishna. I mean, you have spent so many billions of lives in sense gratification. Give this one life to Krishna. And if you want, you can have billions more lives in sense gratification if you want. So, intention. You make an intention. You must have a goal. Yes, okay, I want to give this life to Krishna, this life. And then whatever happens, then Krishna will help you. Not to worry about. No worries. He says, surrender to me and no worries. So if you just surrender, then no worries. In Australia, I just came from Australia. No worries, that's their favorite. Everybody says it, not just devotees. No worries. So surrender to Krishna means no worries. You don't have to worry about forgetting. I know, I had near-death experience, and I not only I forgot Krishna, I forgot who I was. In fact, I could have been a molecule for all I knew. But I was awake, I was conscious, but I had no idea if I was a human or an animal or anything. Identity was complete forgetfulness. But then in that state, the holy name came in front of me and I remembered everything, who I was. So if you forget, Krishna will help you remember the time of death, if you serve him. And my service was the holy name at that point in my life. 10 years ago, I did 7 japa workshops. So that's how he came to me, form of the holy name. And then, when I didn't know what it was, but I just started chanting out of habit. And then I started remembering, oh yeah, I'm a devotee, right, Krishna, oh, okay. Otherwise it was all black, everything black. And I was conscious, I was awake. Overdose of anesthesia. So, Anyway, you may forget for some reason or other, but Krishna won't forget you, and that's why they pray in Ishopanishad, please remember all I have done for you. Krishna will remember you. He won't forget you. Okay, I think it's 9 o'clock. We'll stop here. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada.